Hello people! Welcome to this video where I will be explaining you how exactly what I was doing and how exactly will you be interpreting the data analysis that I've done for you to get on with your LC to LC partnerships, for you to see with which countries you have the most applicants with, which countries you have the most potential with, to make sure that we have a kickoff start to the summer peak. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be sharing the folder with this video, and I'm just going to be explaining one LC for you to understand how you will be like commenting on your own pages. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. Let's see, and you will see my extremely messy screen, but okay. So here's the document that I'm going to share with you. This is data analysis for summer peak, forward, index, and forward, obviously. This is the summer peak timeline that we are foreseeing. So as you can see here, this is the timeline here. Under the thing is the summer peak timeline. So as you can see, is approval peak March and April, and for that to happen, obviously we need to be working a lot in January, February, and this folder will be helping you how exactly you will be matching with other LCs and how exactly are you going to be cooperating with them. Of course, to understand that, you need to first understand your LC, and here you will see the LC list. And every LC will receive a analysis based on this element. So LC timeline, past IR, country, NLC, LC SDG, applicants, and background. Okay. So for example, let's dive into ÖSP as an example. For example, here you can see the summer peak timeline, which means the timeline between the 1st of February until the 31st of July of ÖSP. So when you see 2016, 2017, we cannot say that there is much of a peak here because there hasn't been many approvals. As you can see, the maximum is 5 and is in April. The next year, however, they managed to have a timeline at least, but it's still really not super representative because they have a really small amount of approvals. So, but this is the timeline that they're working with. So, for example, the most approvals they had, they are in March. And based on that, they will be working, for example, this year with the same timeline and in January and February. So, and I took notes on each LC. I put exactly the thing that I just said to you. And yes, let's move on. So guys, this is the deal. Here it shows in the first one, in the first line, you can see based on approvals in summer peak. So first, you can see in a historical data. So it's 2016, 2017, which means like 2 years ago. This was the countries with which ÖSP was approving. So as you can see, there's a lot of Egypt here. And SDGs were mostly quality education, gender equality, and sustainable cities and communities. You can understand a lot with the SDGs because you understand which projects that you need to be promoting to your market, right? And then you go to the next year, which is 2017, 2018, which was last year, where you can see the IR changed a lot. So we're here, they're approving a lot with Colombia. Although they didn't change, actually, yes, they did. The SDGs also changed, but the quality education remains. And they have a couple of other countries they approve it, but like mostly the IR changed a lot. And then you can go and see based on applicants in 2018. So guys, the first line is the people who got approved. The second line, which you can see here, like the pie with a huge blue, this is the applicants. They are not necessarily approved, but they are applicants in the platform. For example, how you can comment this? As you can see with ÖSP, there's a lot of applicants with Brazil, right? Like there's a lot of people applying to Brazil, but when you go and check the approval pie, you don't see Brazil there. So this is quite interesting to see. It means that with Brazil, ÖSP are not converting their EPs. They got stuck in the stage of applicants. which is not cool. So we can work on that. But there's a lot of applicants, so that's really, really cool. And the LC they applied for example, in Brazil, all of them is Mackenzie. Morocco is Casablanca, Turkey is Gaziantep, Egypt is Cairo University. Well, of course, I'm not, guys, don't send people to Egypt, thank you. But besides that, all the other LCs, for instance, is a start point for you to have your LC partners. So you can actually approach these LCs and say, hey, Mackenzie, like we have a lot of applicants with you, so why not approving them, yes? Then, when you go to the next thing, the most approvals with. This is based on 2018. So for example, Colombia, right? We were saying that CP last year, they have the most applicants with Colombia, and they have the approvals with those LCs that are written. And the signups, this is much long term. For example, the first one is international trade, second law finance, and 3 BA languages economics. Why they're next to each other? Because they were exactly the same amount. So this also gives you an idea on where you should be doing your activities. So if I have the most people backgrounds interested in my opportunities in international trade, then I should find the international trade students and I should book a stand there, or I should find an apero, like something like that, to promote your opportunities to this kind of background. Then I put notes. So for example, no IR retention except for India. You know, I was saying that IR changed a lot, and yes, that was a choice, but let's keep it stable for the next term, yes? And then applicants are not being processed with Brazil, exactly what I said. Then clear applicant choice for Mackenzie, has highly SDG4 projects. When you can see ÖSP has a, how do you say, inclination of approving with quality education. So maybe that's a start point of finding LCs with SDG4 projects. Yep. Low demand for Europe. This is also like pretty obvious, where you can see the pie. They're approving with a lot of AP, which is Asia Pacifics or Americas and so on. And there's a really low Europe. So maybe we can change that. High demand for Americas and Asia Pacifics, and since there is not too many approvals, data is not very representative. Yes, this is also very true, because for example, the pie that we are looking into with applicants, there are only 14 applicants. Yeah. So yeah, this is the kind of comments that you can have, and kind of approaches that you can have for starting your term, and where you can see like exactly is the same for each LC. With some of them, unfortunately, there was no data, but of only applicants, the rest is there. And yes, exactly, this will be your baseline for deciding which, let me come back to you, for deciding which LCs and which countries you want to partner up with. And I really encourage you to have a talk with me, and maybe we can decide and create the groups, I hope before the end of January, so that we can start the approvals before the January. Exactly, so that's the point. And I stay available for all of your questions. I will upload another video. If you want to go further in your data analysis, I will go put another video where you can see a lot of timelines. But so far, this is it for this one. And thank you so much for watching, and approve. Thank you. Bye.